ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and fellow admirers of the wind and waves. If someone told me 10 years ago that I would be giving a TED talk, I wouldn't believe it. But here I am, 10 years and 19 gold medals later, giving my first ever TED talk. From the early age of 2, when I first started swimming, which is a rather early age, I learned later on, but that is where I knew the water would hold a very special place in my heart. Little did I know then that it would become not just a passion, but a way of life, a calling that would shape my very existence. Growing up, my mother would take me and my siblings to watch my father race, and I grew a fondness for the sport there. Eventually, I watched my brother get into competitive sailing, and that is when I decided to try it too. There was an undeniable excitement in cruising through the water at top speed. It wasn't just about killing time. It felt like a deep connection, like the waves were speaking to me directly. In those moments, it felt like I stumbled onto something big, something that lifted me out of the daily grind and into a whole new world. Every gust of wind and wave seemed to team up, guiding me towards a future of endless possibilities. It was like the universe was giving me a nudge in the right direction, leading me towards all sorts of adventures. As I honed my skills on water with endless hours, I discovered a sense of freedom that I had never known before. There were no boundaries in the sea, no limitations, just the open, wide sea and me dancing to the rhythm of the wind and waves. It was a feeling of pure bliss, and it made me feel completely alive in the moment. And with each passing day, my love for the sport grew stronger, fueling my determination to excel and pushing me to new heights of achievement. At the age of 14, I had the honor of representing India at the Youth Olympic Games, an experience that would forever change my course of life. As the first Indian to compete in windsurfing at such a prestigious event, I felt an overwhelming sense of pride and responsibility. I knew that I was not just representing myself, but an entire nation, a nation with a rich maritime heritage and a deep-seated love for the sea. And though the competition was fierce and challenges daunting, I stood tall and faced them head-on, drawing strength from the love and support of family and the knowledge that I was part of something greater than myself. Like any journey, my journey has had its own share of ups and downs. In the year 2018, during my stint as India's representative at the Asian Games, it felt great being able to qualify at the Asian Games in a sport that's barely known in India, and even better, along with my brother. It's not often you see two siblings qualify for the Asian Games together. My brother is someone who I learned sailing from, and I grew through watching him sail. Competing with him and both of us representing the country together was an empowering feeling, but fate decided to throw me a curveball. A devastating injury during tearing my ACL and my meniscus, and this was during the races, which is why I could not compete at the Asian Games after that. The injury was a setback that could have easily derailed me, but instead it became a defining moment, a challenge that demanded unwavering determination. Supported by the love of family and unyielding encouragement from my friends and the solidarity of fellow athletes, I embarked on a grueling path to recovery. It was a journey fought with obstacles, a test both physical and mental strength. Mental strength and the desire to get back played a crucial role in my journey to come back. It took me years to come back from the journey after my injury. As a reward for my efforts in recovery and switching to the new sport that is the IQ foil, which is the Olympic class, back in July, I then qualified for my first World Championship in IQ foil and also won the National Games last year. That was also the year where I won the first international medal for India in Thailand. I found myself on the podium not just as a competitor, but as the first Indian to scoop up an international medal. It was a great moment for me where I felt that all the hours of grinding in training, believing in myself, and having family support, it felt like it all paid off. In a world that's constantly in motion, it's all too easy to get caught up in the past or consumed by the future, forgetting to appreciate the here and now. Windsurfing is a sport that requires utmost concentration and requires you to be present in the moment, taking on everything the wind and sea are giving you at the moment. Windsurfing is an extremely tough sport. It requires everything you've got, your mind, body, and your heart. You need to be extremely fit, extremely flexible, and really strong all over. It's akin to a delicate balance between understanding the appropriate course of action and simply intuitively navigating through it. Every move you make while racing could make or break your game. Being great at windsurfing means you're totally in sync with nature. You got to know how the wind blows, what it's going to do next. It's not just about skill, it's about guts, bouncing back from falls, and never giving up. But there is always a risk in a sport like this. The sea can be wild, and the wind can change in a dime. Some days the waves are extremely huge, and the wind's a monster. It feels like I'm battling nature itself. That is when staying strong in your head is key, helping you steer through the rough waters with guts and determination. Sailing on the seas for me is more than just a sport. It's a form of meditation, a way to reconnect with myself and the world around me. It's a reminder that in the midst of life's storms, there is always a safe harbor to be found. Windsurfing currently is at an important juncture. We are seeing a more fierce fleet grow. We are the future of our sport and the ones who will carry the torch forward and inspire generations to come. As the infrastructure continues to improve and opportunities abound, I have no doubt that the sky, or rather the sea, is the limit. So as I stand before you here today, I urge you to embrace the power of the present, to seize each moment with open hands. Whether you're out on the water or facing challenges of everyday life, remember that the only time that truly matters is now, and the only way you can make a difference is believing in yourself. So let's make that count. Thank you.